Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Wheels, Guns, and Shoes, home of the free and the brave, not the enslaved and timid. Today we're going to be replacing the CV axles on my 2013 535i X-Drive. And I ended up replacing the lower control arms, front control arms is what parts store call them, or BMW calls them struts. I would just recommend buying those and replacing those if you're doing the CV joints as well. So let's get straight into the video. All right, so I replaced the front axle shafts about a year ago. And they were giving me trouble from the beginning. These are GKNs. These are supposed to be like the more expensive performance brand. I'm gonna change them out again. Sorry, my battery's running out. And I'm gonna see what happens. If I run into any difficulties this time, or, I'll explain what's going on. Hopefully the new ones work out, but we're gonna take both axle shafts out and see what happens. All right, so I got the car up in the air now. And so before the car was up, I slid the jack under and lifted from this point right here. Then I put that jack stand down, and then I put that one, but it was lower. So the car was angled, right? So then I went to this side, lifted that side up, and then made them even and put the jack stand on that side. Now, tires got to come off, and all this stuff has to come off. All right, so I got all the stuff underneath off, and right when I did that, I came by, cleaned these up, clean that up. I'm gonna do it again, but I just wanted to do it real quick, and then I washed these real quick. Wash that, and wash that. All right, so then I took off the caliper with the 2 bolts right here. There's 2 back here, 1, 2. Then I'm gonna take this drum off, this, and then this backing plate. All right, as you can see, the cover's off. This bolt's gonna have to come out. And then 2 more bolts, and I'll show those. And then we should be able to get the CV joint out. So you will need like one specialty tool. A 17 hex. I got this one from AutoZone. All right, for this nut down here, as you can see, let's try to get it better. So it's this one. This is the passenger side, right? You're coming in, and it's that one right there. So an 18 and a 22. All right, so now I'm taking off this lower control arm, and I always forget, but you gotta take this bottom panel off so you could get to it, because the nut is on the back side of this. So you gotta take that bottom off. All right, so once you're under here, you can see I just spun it. This thing was like this, and I just spun it. For some reason, this bolt don't want to come out. So, whatever. Put it over there, and then this is a 21. So, pull this out, and it has like a captured nut on this side, so you don't have to worry about putting anything over here. You just need to get this side right here. All right, so we took that one out. We took the strut out. Now, we need to take this bolt out. So again, bam. All right, as you can see, I got everything bungeed. Let's see, there we go. I mean, just bungee it however to get it out of the way, because that's a CV joint right there. And of course I bungeed the caliper too. This is the passenger side. So this center bolt won't come out with the gun. So I took one of the bolts that hold the caliper on and I just stuck it through to hold it there. And I'm gonna try using the pry bar. Gun couldn't get it off. So to get this side off, I went to use heat, pry bar, and a lever bar. That didn't work. Had to bust out the actual torch, so that thing's still hot. All right, so I went and bought some new bolts. Well, because this spring was kind of messed up on the driver's side. Or no, one of these springs was messed up, and I bit the bullet and spent the $39 for the 2 bolts. So, and I'm kind of happy I did, because I had them double check the spec, because everywhere is 150 Newton meters plus 90. And for this F10, that's not the case. They said it was 100 Newton meters plus 45 degrees. So, yeah. Now time to get started again. Put those CV axles in. All right, you need to remember the short one is for the driver's side. So driver's side, short one. Make sure it has that clip on it. And then, I already have everything bungeed, but you're gonna push it aside, right? And then push it in through this way around it, and then move this to get that in. All right, so I replaced the lower front control arms on both sides, right and left. BMW calls them a strut. Now, I got ones from O'Reilly. Here's the factory one. So, as you can see, there's like this outer ring right here. On the O'Reilly ones, it was sticking up a little bit and not flush with the metal. So what I did was grind it down to make it flush. And I mean, I didn't really grind it. I just have my die grinder with like one of these soft bristle pads. That's all I did was go in and clean it up like that, just to make it flush, because they wouldn't fit. They wouldn't go in. And I'll show you what I mean. Grab a light. So up in here, it wouldn't go in. So I had to, you could kind of see that white ring around there? I just made that flush with the metal. That's all I did. And then they slid right in. So, I mean, that was kind of, that's kind of a red flag to me right off the bat, because I really wanted to try import direct from O'Reilly's, like their brand, to see how they work. The OEM ones, here's the part numbers for left and right. The OEM ones were like $400 a piece, and I was like, I don't really want to spend that, but it's the left side. As you can see that bushing? See how it moves? That shouldn't move at all. That should be solid. So they sell these bushings. You could buy them from BMW, and I was thinking about that. They were like 50 bucks. I was talking to my local BMW, and you got to press them in with the press, and I don't have anything that big to press this out, so I decided just to replace the whole thing. If you're anything like me, I always have troubles with presses. Seems like something always gets messed up, so I was like, screw it. Instead of buying OEM, I'll try this O'Reilly's brand. Worst comes to worst, I will take them off and return them and get OEM, but I figured I'd give them a shot. I mean, they seem to fit in there pretty well, as you can see. So that's where I'm at with that, just to give everybody the heads up. All right, so everything's loose, right? None of the bolts are tight yet. This is just hand tightened, that bolt. This one you could tighten up. I used my gun, put it on setting 1, tighten that one up. This one's just kind of hand threaded in. You can see like the gap there. So this is loose. Everything, that one's loose. So now we need to raise the vehicle, right? And when I say that, we just need to lift here and get it to ride height, and then we can tighten everything. All right, got the caliper and everything back on. Everything's still loose. And I know I'm at ride height because there's a gap. So, and that's where I lift it. So now I can go under there and tighten everything. So the first one I'm gonna torque is this one right here. The very front of the vehicle on the driver's side. And it comes out to 62.75. So I'm gonna tighten it down to 62. And then you're supposed to do 180. I wasn't able to get the 180 out of it. I don't know, I mean, I think that seems super tight with just a 90. I don't know though. I know it says you're supposed to go 180. I can't seem to get the 180 out of it. I got 90, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of torque on that thing. If I have issues, I'll have to go back down and try to tighten it again. But so again, I think my torque wrenches aren't accurate because, yeah, I mean, that's way tight. That's super tight, that bolt right there. Probably will never come out how tight it is. This one's supposed to be tightened to 100 Newton meters, which is like 115 foot-pounds. So let's do that next. So 115 foot-pounds and then 90 degrees. So I'm just gonna mark on there and then turn it 90 degrees. Again, this is still for the strut, the front lower control arm. So I can't find torque specs on this one and this one, so I'm just gonna assume really tight. I'm gonna do probably the same as this one, 85 Newton meters, and then see how it feels. All right, we got this side done. Now you need to go to this side. And again, we're gonna put the caliper and everything back on and just repeat the process. All right, do the same thing on this one. 62 foot-pounds and then 90. You're supposed to go 180, but I mean, my socket broke doing that. And then the next one right here, it's 115 plus 90. So I can't get the 180 out of these, and I'm gonna do the same torque as this one on these. So 85 Newton meters, which is like 62 foot-pounds, 62 foot-pounds, and then 90. So, yep. All right, we got everything put together. No parts left over, which is good. It's always a good thing, right? Whatever. Okay. Still got that gun out because we got to put the wheels on. And we still have to put the covers underneath on. So remember, we washed those a while ago. So that way when we put them back up, we're not getting soaked or anything. So we're gonna put that up and then we're gonna lower the car. All right, so we got everything buttoned up underneath. Now we're gonna tighten that nut. And again, everywhere stating 150 Newton meters plus 90. I went to BMW, they said 100 Newton meters, 45. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so I've been driving the car for about a week now. Everything seems to be working out great. The struts seem to be perfect. Nothing's loose. So the BMW just has like crazy torque specs, and as long as they're tight, I think you're okay, just like any other vehicle. Like that one, I didn't use torque specs. That one, I didn't use torque specs. That one, I didn't use torque specs. On my race car, I don't use torque specs. I mean, I just kind of feel and know what's tight. But BMW really wants you to tighten these stuff down. So I think that's why everybody just uses the torque specs. That's what I did. And again, I'm not exactly sure if they're 100% right, but everything seems to be working out great. And here is the car. Like I said, I've been driving it for about a week now, so. And no issues. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and like, even if you didn't. I say that every time. It just makes me laugh. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.